Hey, it's Johara. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to be talking about Nickelodeon Ships. This list was harder than I thought it would be because I realized I don't watch as many Nickelodeon Ships as I do Disney ship or Nickelodeon shows as much as but I do love some Nickelodeon shows and I do love these ships, so I want to give some highlights on them. So let's do this. Number 10 is Katara and Zuko. I'm sorry they're so far low. I do absolutely love them. But honestly, if we did get more of them and if they were, well, they didn't necessarily have to be canon for them to be higher, but I just feel like compared to these other ships, we didn't get as much of them, which is the only reason why they're so far down. But I do love them enough that they had to at least be on the top 10 list. Because I also do have honorable mentions, but I love them more than the honorable mentions. So yeah, number 9 is Korra and Asami. We did get more of them, and I know people say, "Oh, they were so rushed." No, they weren't. If you actually watch the show, the thing is, people, mostly straight people, I don't mean to say this in like a mean way, but like straight people have this straight goggles on half the time when they're watching shows, people unless it's like super obvious and people's like, oh yeah, I'm gay, I like him, I like her. They don't realize that character is gay or bi or something. Because as at least if you watch season 3 and especially season 4, they were so obviously falling for each other. Not only did they both decide, let's forget the boy that's been cheating on us and using us, they were like, I'm not meaning to be hatred towards Mako because I do like him later on. He did grow, but I didn't like him in the first couple of seasons because he was kind of using both of them at times. But anyways, Korra and Asami, despite the I hate love triangles, but I actually do like this love triangle, or this one doesn't make me mad at least, because not only do these two girls decide to forget the man and end up together, but during the time they both like the same guy, they managed to be friends so many times that the two people on opposite sides who both wanted the middle person hate each other, or are doing bad things to each other, or constantly trying to force them to leave or force the middle person to want them. And the thing is, they didn't do that. Like when Asami was yelling at Mako when Korra was kidnapped, and she was realizing that Mako had feelings for Korra because he was acting completely insane at the fact that she was kidnapped. She was like, "I like Korra," you know. And then, so even though Korra even tried to hate Asami at the beginning of the show when she found out they were dating because she liked Mako. But after she got to know Asami, she was like, man, I can't even hate her because she's kind of awesome. And the two of them get really close and they become friends. Throughout the first 2 seasons, when they both are fighting with their feelings for Mako, and they both end up kissing him at one point when he's supposed to be with the other person, they never do anything intentionally to harm the other person. And they even manage to be friends, which I can't say for most love triangles. I despise love triangles. That's my least favorite trope. But, and then season 3, they're really close, and neither of them with Mako. They're both over Mako. And you see a true friendship, and there's so many scenes where it's just them getting closer and closer. And then in season 4, Korra's gone. Okay, Korra gets injured, and Asami's the only one. Asami's the one that's like helping her get ready, helping her, like talking to her, comforting her. And then Korra's gone for 3 years. And who does she write to? She only writes to Asami. Like that was not accidental. Okay, that wasn't. Um, and then when she returns, her reunion with Asami, they legit are blushing when they hug. Like, you're telling me that even if you didn't see it in season 3, fine, okay? But you're telling me that you still did not see this in the first couple episodes of season 4 when they are blushing when they touch. And you still say that when they are holding hands at the last episode going to the spirit world, that it was rushed and came out of nowhere? I don't get it. I just don't. Because I saw this coming. I did. I saw it coming. And maybe it's because I am a lesbian and I just don't get how people did not see that coming. But it was so obvious. I just had to get that little rant out of my way. But anyways, love them. The number 8 is Luna and Sam from Loud House. I really do like them together, and I wish we get more of them. I know that I put Katara and Zuko lower because we didn't get that much of them, but and we did, and we probably got a little bit more of Korra and Asami than we did of Luna and Sam. But I love them. They are awesome, and I love the episode because they, like, there was that episode where there was a someone was sending one of the Louds love letter, and but they only said L Loud, so nobody knew who it was to because all their names are L Loud. Like they all have the all their last names Loud, obviously, and then all their first name starts with an L. So they were like, and yeah, um, and then so it would show them all like doing something to their crush to try to give them a hint to see if it was their crush because they all had a crush apparently at the exact same time or were dating in Lori's case, and um every time Luna was doing it, she was doing it with like there was like a girl and a guy together, and so it makes you think that it's possibly the guy because people always think straight goggles and stuff. So but and Sam is kind of a name that could be used for a girl or a guy, but it turned out to be a girl. It was Sam, and then there was the episode where they were trying to go on a date, but they realized they may not have as much in common as they thought, other than music. But they end up really liking each other anyways, and decided to do this. And then there's also some scenes with them in the live action show, um, and they're just really cute. And I do want more of them. And the show is still on the air. I'm behind on both the live action show and the animated show, so definitely, but I do want more of them. Number 7 is Serena and David from Mako Mermaids, Mako Mermaids. And I don't know if they're underrated. I think they might be, but I love them. Okay, they are my favorite ship. They were so sweet and cute and so shy. Like they liked each other from the very beginning, and David would do anything for her. Like he's so mesmerized by her, like when she was singing and when he was doing that whole thing. He was doing auditions to see who would sing with him for the cafe, so they could put on these performances. And he really wanted it to be Serena, and it's one of my favorite episodes. And he, um, and then because shenanigans happen, and then at the end he asked her to sing with him because he loves her, um, and wants her to sing with him. Well, he didn't say he loves her, but it was really sweet. He said he really likes her, and I think that's also when they had their first kiss, and it was really sweet. I do wish we got more of them and saw more of them, but like when everyone was making fun of him when he thought he saw a mermaid, like she wanted so badly to help him, and she got so mad that people were making fun of him. Like she would do anything for him, and he would do anything for her. They're really cute. I don't know why they're so underrated when they were one of the main ships from the beginning. Okay, they deserve more. But and I'm not a fan of the last season. Same with H2O Just Like Water when they and I'm not don't care as much about the new characters, and I hate that they took away some of my favorite characters because Serena was my favorite character in Mako Mermaids, and David also wasn't on there anymore. I am glad that Serena finally showed David that she's a mermaid, but I wish we got more. Like she could have shown him earlier and stuff. Like I would have loved that. But anyways, yeah. I love them, and yeah, so they just had to be on this list. Number 6 is Danny and Sam from Danny Phantom. So they're also amazing. One of my favorite ships. I love them so much. Um, amazing friends to lovers. Like they had thing for like Sam, like her feelings for him was obvious from the beginning, but there were times you could tell that Danny had feelings for her too, but he was more in denial than she was. And he also was so hung up on like the most popular girl, I can't remember her name now, Paulina, I think that was her name, right? Yeah. um and then he was hung up on that one girl. But I saw this post once and I really liked it, and it showed um Danny in his ghost form with Paulina, Danny in his human form with Valerie. That's her name. I almost forgot her name. And then Danny like half ghost, half human with Sam. And it was basically saying that Paulina only liked him as a ghost, Valerie only liked him as a human, but Danny loved him both sides of him, and I absolutely love that. And it proves that Sam was the only one for him. And I love when they finally get together, and when they finally told each other how they felt. It was such a sweet moment, and then they like kissed, and it was so beautiful. And now I kind of want to rewatch the finale just for that. So you'll know what I'm doing after this. But number 5 is Raph and Mona from the 2012 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So there's only 2 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles adaptations I like. That's the 1990s original movie, the first 2 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then the Secret of the Ooze is the second one. I did not like the third movie in that, but I love the first 2. And then I love the 2012 series. And one thing I've realized since, because I've been seeing it a lot on TikTok lately, but Raph and Mona is like the most popular TMNT ship, and I'm like, yes, rightfully so. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, they're the only ship I actually care about on the show. They are just so cute, and the fact that they would do anything for each other, like the fact that Raph fell in love with her because she's strong, and Mikey even said, because Raph is kind of like, he's very strong and tough and angry, and when you look at him, you think he's actually my favorite character. For those of you that do not know, I even have a Raph stuffed animal. I don't have him with me at the moment, but yeah, he's in storage. But I absolutely love Raph, and but when you look at him, you do think on surface level that he will like have a ego and won't like anyone who's tougher than him because he wants to be the toughest. But that's not true, because he fell in love with Mona because she was strong. And Mikey even at one point said, "Oh, she might even be stronger than you." And she was like, "I know, what a woman." And it's like he just loves that she's strong, and he loves that she might even be stronger than him, and it's just so cute. And like he gets so angry, and like no one can like she's not introduced till season 4. In the first 3 seasons, we see him get angry, and nobody can really calm him down. Splinter did once during the whole spider episode, where he with that guy that turned into a mutant spider. I love that episode; it's one of my favorites. And he managed to help him learn how to calm down a little bit, but nobody's ever been able to really calm him down much. But Mona could, just with one touch. Like he would get angry. So my last video got cut off, and I ended up not finishing it filming the other day. So I'm gonna finish now. And I think I made my point with Raph and Mona, but I just really love them, and they had to be in the top 5, for sure, because I absolutely love them. So I don't wonder if I should put them in the top 3, but I think I'm pretty happy with this list. I do think maybe they should have been a little bit higher, but oh well. Number 4 is Ricky and Zane from H2O Just Add Water. I think they're a pretty much beloved ship, and I absolutely love them. I just hate what they did in the last season. Then again, I don't like the last season. I did not like those new characters, and I didn't like the Emma left because I love her. Luce was only in half of it, which I hate. I didn't feel the connection with the 3 of them as friends like I did with Ricky, Cleo, and Emma. And yeah, so it's kind of like in Mermaids, I didn't like the last season as well because Serena left and then David left, and I didn't care much about the only episodes I generally liked was I think they were like the last few episodes that had Ricky in them. But yeah. Anyways, but I genuinely love Ricky and Zane's relationship. I feel like they balance each other out a lot. And I just think they have so many cute moments, like the ice cream and stuff, or when he kind of basically walked down his dad for her a couple different times. And when he came back and he would do anything for her, and then the whole episode with her dad as well, like he would do anything for her, and then they just completely threw that out of the last season for like no reason at all, and I absolutely hate it. But I love it because they were really cute, and I feel like they had, like I said, they balanced each other out, and I feel like they would do anything for each other. Like Ricky went against her friends because they hated that she was with Zayn at first, and Zayn went against his father for her, and so yeah, it's just really beautiful, and I think they were done dirty. Number three is Quinn and Logan from Zoe 101. They have always been one of my favorite Nickelodeon ships. I absolutely love them. Um, sadly they weren't as together as long as they probably should have been. I wish there was a little bit more of a build up with them, but I've just always loved them and connected with them, so I had to have them pretty high up. And I do think they balanced each other out, and I think they always had something going on, even when they didn't want to admit it. There's even episodes earlier on where it's like there was something between them. Like they liked to argue with each other a little too much, and there was just something going on. I think the first episode I really started shipping them, where I really was like, okay, what is going on here? Like, but I mean, after rewatching it several times, I'm like, okay, I can tell a few other times before then, but during my first watch, the first episode, I really was like, wait a minute, there's something going on here. Would have been one of my personal favorite episodes. I think it's in season 3 when he calls her a spaz, and she gets mad and decides to humiliate him by teaching her how to throw a basketball, but she was just messing with him and making him do idiotic stuff, and it was like there was just I don't know, there was just something going on between them in that episode. I swear, um, and I feel like he let that go a little too much. Like I just feel like Logan would not let that go if it was anybody else. But I mean, yeah, he was mad when he found out that she was messing with him. But then I don't know. I feel like he just let that go a little too easily, where Logan just wouldn't let somebody do that to him and get away with it. But he let Quinn get away with it because I think there were hidden feelings. Like I'm sorry, they if there weren't hidden feelings, they wouldn't have just kissed that day on the bench. Like there was something there beforehand, and I just think neither of them saw it, or was it just a lot of denial? But yeah, there's definitely something going on between them, and then they became so cute, and they honestly became the healthiest ship. Like Zoe 102 movie had a lot of problematics, and the only thing is that I wish it didn't focus so much on Zoe and Chase. I guess that was part of the point of the movie to make them back together. Um, but it was Quinn and Logan's wedding, so it should focus a little bit more on them. But otherwise, I love the Logan and Quinn scenes because they were just so adorable in them, and like he loved her so much. Like he just wanted to marry her. Like he did not care. He just wanted to be her husband, and I love it. Um, number two is Sokka and Suki from Avatar: Last Airbender. They I feel like can be so underrated, which I hate because I love them so much. And when I was first making this list, I knew they were gonna be on it, but I honestly did not think they would end up being this high. And um, I'm wondering if I should have switched them with Raph and Mona. But either way, they still should be pretty high up because I absolutely love them. I just think they're so underrated, and they're so cute because I just love. There's so many times where Sokka does something stupid or just being Sokka, and then Suki just looks at it full of love. Or the episode where they save her from the prison and she goes up and on those men, and then she gets to the water really quickly. And Sokka was just so proud the entire time, and his father was like, "Some girl," and he was like, "Yeah," like he was so lovesick. And it's so cute because like his everyone always talks about Zuko's development, which don't get me wrong, it is one of the best redemption arcs ever, and one of the few genuinely good ones because I feel like redemption arcs can be very hard to make, and most people that try to make a redemption arc fail because there wasn't really a growth to the character, or they were just awful and then they do like one good act, or they were on the good side all along but they were still horrible people all along. Yes, I'm talking about Snape from Harry Potter because that was not a redemption arc. Neither Draco didn't have one either. I don't care what people say. um and yeah, so I just feel like redemption arcs can be really hard to make because you have to really be you just have to make sure you can actually slowly build it up, and I also think there's not every character can have a redemption arc no matter how well developed it is. like because you have to because for me at least you can't do anything truly horrific and then get a redemption arc and be able to be off scot-free. It doesn't work like that. And then there's other characters that are like, oh, I love this redemption arc. This character did not have a redemption arc, like Damon Salvatore. I don't care what anyone says. Even seasons later, every time Elena broke up with him, he decided to go on a rampage and kill people with his humanity on because he did not care, which means that was not a redemption arc. I'm sorry. I don't care what anyone says. He killed people with his humanity on, and that was not a redemption arc. But anyways, I went a little bit off point because I have whatever. Anyways, point being is that Sokka has a development too that I don't think people talk about enough because it's overshadowed by Zuko's. But his is more subtle, and I feel like subtle character developments are so good, and you have to really watch and pay attention to. But I love them, like on Buffy Vampire Slayer with Tara McClay, like her character growth into becoming confident is so subtle and so beautiful, and it's never talked about. And it's like subtle character growths are so beautiful, and why are they never talked about? I love Sokka's because at the very beginning, I mean, he's actually one of my favorite characters. I feel like he as a character is underrated. I think he's my second favorite character after Katara, but he had this. He was so honestly in the beginning he wasn't that great because he was very sexist. He made sexist comments to Katara in the very first episode, which kind of show you who he was then. And I do think that's a little bit based on the way he was raised because he was raised to be like the only warrior in his village, so like that got to his head a little bit, which fair. But some of the way he thought and said stuff he said just wasn't right. And then he meets Suki. 5 minutes later, he's questioning everything he thought he knew, and then he was like, "I want to learn from you, the warrior, the master." And it's like his sexism just got kicked out of him within 5 minutes after meeting her, and I love it. And so yeah, they just have so many cute moments, sweet moments that I absolutely love, and I do not think they're talked about enough. Like I love their first no, not their first kiss. This would have been their second kiss after Yue died, because like they almost kissed, but then he goes away because he's scared of losing her, and it was just such a sweet moment. And when they get reunited for the first time, and he sees her without her Kyoshi Warrior makeup for the first time, like when he sees her in the prison, I already mentioned the prison episode because what an awesome episode for a lot of reasons, and I love them. I'm sad that they ended tragically because I'm pretty sure the creators confirmed that she died young, and then Sokka never married after that because he lost two loves in his life. He was just like, yeah, I'm not dating anymore, which fair. Uh, but I wish they had a happier ending because I love them. But anyways, honorable mention time. So these I do like, but I don't go crazy over. Okay, Sam and Freddie from iCarly. They were definitely a favorite of mine when I was younger. I do think they're more toxic than I realized when I was younger, but I still generally like them. I think they have so many amazing moments, and they're still better than Freddie and Carly because I could never get behind that ship. Jimmy and Cindy from uh, Jimmy Neutron can and I like them too. Lori and Bobby from Loud House. Lori as a character is Bobby's kind of funny, but I love them together because they, even though it would start like their start out as a high school romance, and then it does show them in college. Like she goes to a college, he ends up moving when they're like 17 to. His family moves to relatives' house, which is a couple hours away, and she ends up going to college there on a golfing scholarship, and um, so they can like still be together and like sometimes it's not realistic for high school romances to work out, but there's a couple that I do think will genuinely work out because they generally love each other. I mean, I do think Laura has to work on her own stuff because there are times that she like gets a little too dramatic, a little too jealous, whatever. But she definitely really likes him and loves him, and he definitely loves her, and they would do so much for each other, and I definitely see it working out. Um, Tori and Andre from Victorious, because yes, I've always shipped them. I always thought I am someone who's like, it doesn't always have to be romance. Like friendship's awesome too, because I do think friendship is better than romance. I'm not gonna lie, and stuff. But then there's sometimes that I can't see it, but then there are other times where like yes, they should be together because they would be cute. Um, Timmy and Tootie from Fairly Odd Parents, but I'm talking about the live action movies here with Drake Bell because I absolutely loved them on that. Like, obviously, they weren't that great in the original, but in the movie, honestly, so there's three movies for those of you that have not seen them. The third one sucked. Would not recommend. Second one, okay. Not something I would watch that often, but every so often if it's on, I don't mind watching it because it's alright. But the first one is amazing. Highly recommend anyone to watch that. So good. And they were just really cute on that because it also has Danielle Monet as Tootie on it, and yeah, I love it. Lincoln and Ronnie Ann from Loud House, they had this kind of like, I don't want to say enemies because they weren't enemies. It was like rivals, I guess. They did not like each other at first, but they ended up becoming friends and stuff. Ronnie Ann is Bobby's younger sister, and I don't know if they would work out, but I like it, at least for like a young middle school romance. So yeah. And then Henry and Charlotte from Henry Danger because yes, I also think they would be cute together. And then number one, Maddie and Dago from Every Which Way. Okay, I don't care what anyone says. Like I am obsessed with them, and I'm trying to finish my rewatch of the show. I am almost done. I'm like in the middle-ish of season 4, I think, somewhere around there. But I don't have Paramount Plus at the moment, so I can't continue my rewatch at the moment because I'm also jotting down things of their relationship, like what happens with them, because I am planning one of my relationship timeline videos with them. Um, so yeah, I'm working on that, and I just love them so much. Like they are so adorable, and like he's so down bad for her. Like he would literally do anything for her. It's like the touch her and you die sort of thing because he would die for her. He would protect her. He would kill for her. Okay. He has fought Mia to protect her. Every time Maddie is even in a little bit of danger, he is a cinnamon roll. Okay, he's a cinnamon roll. He is the definition sweetheart. The minute Maddie is in danger, he becomes like the scariest character. Like I'm not even kidding. He goes from sweet cinnamon roll boy to touch her and I will murder you and blow you up in flames. Okay, like he could go like that 2.5 seconds. All it takes is Maddie being in the slightest danger. It's hilarious. I love it. And I have this group chat on Twitter for people who love Maddie and Diego because they do not get. I think Every Which Way as a show gets enough love. Um, but Maddie and Diego definitely deserve more love because they are so adorable. I love them so much. Like they're just amazing, and I love so many. Like I could just go on and on about them. Like there's a scene when she rescues him because he got kidnapped at the end of season 2, and she rescues him and then they kiss. It was like their first on-screen kiss. There was a few things I think they could have done better regarding them. Like I guess they were really into the Emma and Daniel relationship at the time, and they really wanted to focus on the fact that they were this forbidden thing because the witches canceled were so focused on Emma being the chosen one. It did not want her because she's a witch and the chosen one to be with a human. But I think Maddie and Dago, I mean, it showed a little bit of them being forbidden, mostly because of Emma's mom, though. Maddie's mom, though, because Maddie's mom was really against her dating Diego because he's a Kanai. But I think they should have had a little focus on the council not liking them together because they go on this big deal about how witches hate Kanais and stuff, but it doesn't really show it that much, honestly, when it comes to like the witches council. It mostly focuses on Maddie's mom not liking Kanais, but they mention all the time that they're enemies, and then it shows Mia, who's a Kanai you meet in season 3, who hates witches and stuff, but it doesn't really focus on anyone else hating witches or Kanais or whatever, and it's like that's supposed to be this big hatred that they have, but I don't think it talks about it more than it shows it, and I guess that is a problem I have with it. Because I think they could have been this great forbidden lovers thing, but the only forbidden part it really focused on was the fact that Maddie's mom did not want her with Diego because he was a Kanai, but he does end up saving Maddie's life during the family reunion, and yeah. So There was also the scene when Maddie like put a boombox over her head for Diego, and it was like so sweet. Like she would not do that for anyone else. One of my favorite episodes is also the one where her face ends up becoming this mood ring, so it would change colors to however she was feeling. And when Diego sees her, and he was like, "What color does it change when I'm around?" And she's like, "Nothing." He was like, "Knew it. I knew it. You have feelings for me." And she's like, "No." And then when he leaves, her face goes blue because now she's sad that he's gone, and it's just so adorable. I don't know why I love that scene so much, but I do. And there's a scene when Maddie is listing off things that about Diego, and he's like, "You were listening," because Maddie pretended so much in the first half of season 2 not to care about Diego like at all, just that he was around because but she also liked having him around, and everyone else could see that she liked him, but and it's like, because nobody I think appreciated Maddie like Diego. Nobody appreciated Diego like Maddie. Like when Daniel was and Diego were talking, and he's like, "I figured she would have driven you crazy by now," and she was like, "Oh, she has. I can't get enough of it." Like nobody else deserves Maddie. Nobody else deserves Diego. Like they are literally perfect for each other. They are the best Nickelodeon ship. I can't stress enough how much I love them. And I don't know, maybe this list will change in the future. Probably will, because it always depends on what your hyperfixation is at that particular moment. And at my particular moment, I'm obsessed with Miego. They'll always be one of my favorites, but who knows, my hyperfixation will die down. But as of right now, I'm like obsessed with them, and they are so adorable. And I love talking about them, and I'm so glad I found a few people I can chat with about them, because I don't think they get the love they deserve. And yeah, so thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and comment your favorite Nickelodeon ships. I would love to chat with you below in the comments. Until next time.